do the most enjoyable thing you're able to do in each and every moment without exception. To the best of your ability, always do the most enjoyable thing you're capable of doing. Do that. Why? Because your higher self or inner self is always informing you, knows which future is going to be the most enjoyable for you, most in alignment with that you that is always supporting yourself and being supported by yourself. Doesn't need to say money in a sense to do this, but your higher self knows if you're doing the most enjoyable thing, the things you need to keep doing the most enjoyable things in physical earth will be provided for you, because the intelligence that you are as the infinite existence does this for you, wants to do this, simply is doing this.
Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I am so excited. We have a wonderful episode today. We have Shaun Swanson. You probably have heard of Shaun, but Shaun is a channeler for the Sounds of Light group of friends and Ishuwa of the Yahyel Human ET Civilization. He's written some really fascinating books, including Feline Humans, as well as the Avatars of the Phoenix Light. And I'm really excited to talk to him. Welcome to the Reality Revolution, Shaun.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Excited to be here. Yeah, looking forward to the time with you here.
So I was reading, you've been channeling for a very long time, and you've had some appearances on Gaia, conversations with extra dimensionals, and I found that fascinating. Talk to me about, I'm sure you've told this story many times, but tell us about your story and your journey towards channeling.
All right. Well, I was working as a healing facilitator for several years, and I have learned a variety of healing modalities. And so I had a sense of space and surroundings and environments, and you could call it subtle energetic beings and so on and so forth. And so I used to go down to a psychic eye bookstore in the Sherman Oaks area. And they have so many books down there just covering this whole area of metaphysics and expanding consciousness. And there was one afternoon I walked in on the table, they had several books. I was just looking, kind of seeing if anything got my attention, as sometimes it would. But in this instance, a girl got my attention and she pointed to one of the books on the table and she said, "Hey, that's an amazing book. It's a channel book. It's about Earth and all the past and the future." And I was like, it's suddenly just kind of in this, what? It's channeling? What's channeling? I had never heard of it before. I had no sense of what channeling was, and I'm probably in my early 30s at that point, somewhere in there. And so she starts to explain a little bit about channeling, but then she says, but the information in the book is, and so I thought, okay, I got the book, and I went home that night. I sat in the living room on the couch, and I opened up the book and started reading it. And it was maybe, I don't know, maybe a chapter or so into the book. And it started talking about what life was like in Atlantis at one point. And I started to have this like other life experience as though I had been there at some point as it was being described in the book. And then I felt like this other energy being consciousness shift into the room. And it just had this incredible intelligence and high energy vibe to it. And so I just kind of I invited it to say, would you like to communicate with me? It's kind of like this is happening telepathically.
Mhm.
And then I felt a shift, and especially back here in my chakras back in here. And then suddenly 2 words came through my voice. I wasn't me thinking to say them. They came through. Love you, really loud. And this energy of this really deep, nurturing energy just flowed through me. And it just felt amazing. And like tears of joy just kind of just were flowing down my face. And so I was in that energy for maybe 15, 20 minutes or so. And I just sat in it. And I was thinking, so what just happened there? What was that all about? And so thought, yeah, maybe this book is a channeled book. Maybe that was some kind of a channel thing. So the next evening, I picked the book up and started to read where I had just left off, and almost within just like a page, almost instantly, this being showed up in the room. It wasn't something that I was seeing. I just felt the presence of it, and so I allowed this connection to take place, this communication, and the same thing, the adjustment back here in my back of my throat chakra, and this powerful feeling of this nurturing, loving, supporting energy flowing through my body. And then the two words just came through my voice really loud into the room: love you. And then I just sat in that energy, just immersed in this loving feeling of fulfillment for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. So that got me thinking, okay, I must be channeling that. So the next day I went down to the bookstore there and I looked for books on channeling, and I found one thin book on channeling. So I over the next few days, I read some of it, and I started to follow the description and instructions, and doing that, got a tape recorder, and I wrote down a bunch of questions on a piece of paper, put myself into the kind of a pre-channeled, connecting to channeling state as the instructions in the book suggested I do. And then I went into a state kind of like a channeled state. And I would open my eye and I looked at the first question, and then words started coming out in relation to that question. And when the words stopped, I looked at the next, opened my eyes and looked at the next question, and then words started coming out like to answer that. So I did that with several questions, finished that, all the questions I'd written down, came back out of that kind of that early beginning channeled state, and went back and listened to the what I had on the tape recorder. I said, wow, this is something I would not have said those things. That's not my vocabulary. That's not the kind of information I would have brought forth. So I really started to get a sense, this is really something that's of use. So I kept doing that over a period of a week or two. And then towards the end of it, each session, the message was, and you can present yourself in this way for other people, so then they can ask questions and we can bring information to them. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. Nobody knows I do this. This is so, no, I don't want to be, I ain't going there.
Right.
But they kept suggesting that. And by they, at this point, it was like group of friends. That was the idea. And group of friends, bunch of beings that are here to help support the growth of humanity, human beings on Earth. And so I would say at one point, what about your names? And well, there's several names. You want to get to know all of our names? And so basically, there was just a couple of names I decided to focus on that would come through of the group of friends. A couple of beings would come through most frequently. And so I would focus on a few of those names. But they kept saying, and consider letting other people sit down on this session like this. And so I had a friend who was a psychic, and I thought maybe I can just suggest it to her, see what happens, see if she throws me out of the car. You're nuts, get out of here. And no, she was like instantly, she's like, what? You channel? Oh, can I want to talk, and I was like, what? She was so into it. So she was very supportive. And just by so I okay. So I started doing that with her a few times. And then she's like, my boyfriend, he's a psychic. I'm a psychic. Can he? And no, just you. She's like, why can't he? And I'm like, well, okay. So, and then I'm doing it for two people, and gradually it expanded. And I had some friends who were, one of my friends used to record the channelings for Daryl and Bashar back in the day. And he had all of these tapes of those channeling sessions from back in the 1980s. And so he said, it was a friend of mine, and when he learned I was channeling, he said, hey, I've got a small group of people, and can you channel for us? So okay, I'll do it. And so gradually from there, it just kind of branched out. And so it's at this point, I realize it's just something that I'm designed to be doing, and I'm grateful to be doing it. And I'm grateful that the information can be beneficial for people. Yeah. So
Have you learned about your connection and why, in particular, it was so easy for you to begin the channeling process? It kind of feels like you were meant to be doing this, right?
Yeah. Well, Part of it was for years I had been working with subtle energies and healing energies. I was working as a healing facilitator. So there was that,
Mhm.
I also had worked for, at that point, for 5 to 6 years, where I was very observant of what I was eating and drinking. So I had got it to a point where what I was eating and drinking was very much like, yeah, you could say it's close to organic in a sense, but it's close to nature, the food that I was eating, and pretty much just drinking water. Um, uh, so I think that helped physiologically, helped my body. And the fact that I'd been working as a healing facilitator helped me with the subtle realms, emotional realms. So there was that. And, I have had since then, I can connect with my channels and they'll say, yeah, you've done channeling before,
Mhm.
other lifetimes. So I connect to those versions of me that have done that in what we can think of as the past, and also in terms of all things existing here and now simultaneously. So they're existing here and now, those versions of me that are channeling. So in my desire to continue on with it, that helps them connect with me. Our frequencies match up. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. And Yeah, certainly things I did in growing up help that. When I was in this is very obvious to me, but what I say it might not seem that obvious to someone listening, but to me it is. And I only thought about it a few years back. I was in sports, and one of the sports I played baseball, soccer, and football in like junior high and high school, and even before that, like elementary school days. So I was a pitcher in baseball, and so something a pitcher does, he gets up on the mound and he delivers. If pitcher's not pitching, then there's no game. There's nobody. Of course, you need the other players. So in a sense,
Mhm.
channeling is, and being a channel, I'm kind of like the pitcher in a sense, but I got to have people that are there, and people ask questions. It's kind of like the batter in a sense in this analogy. So I was comfortable um, getting up and doing that once I accepted that it was something that I do. Once I got beyond that initial, I don't want to channel for anybody else. I
Right.
think I'm crazy. So once I got to the point where I could see it was something I could do, and other people were benefiting and enjoyed it, then I was comfortable. And I love getting out in front of people and, like, in a sense, being like the pitcher, and the audience, or people asking questions, or the other players, the other part of the team, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, the interesting part of your channelings is that it feels like a real conversation that you'd have with another being about what's going on, and it's in their what world and what their world is like, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you've learned a lot about this Ishuwa of the Yahyel civilization. They're human. They're human-like, correct?
Sure. The idea that he shared with me, that Ishuwa of the Yahyel civilization has shared with me, is that they're very human in appearance in terms of how we appear as well, such that he could be walking by us on the street and we wouldn't really think anything much different just looking at them physically.
Right.
Might think, oh, they're from a different country, something like that. There's some different variations physically that you might, but you wouldn't think not from a different planet, not that different. Yeah, in terms of the physical appearance.
So it's really fascinating to think that throughout the universe that there's these other planets that have humans that humans are not just isolated to this little rock that it's an actual phenomenon that we see in other planets around the universe, right?
That's my understanding. And it makes sense. If we
Right.
understand the nature of existence, then existence is infinite. It can express itself in an infinite number of ways that are ever changing. So then, obviously, if understanding that being the nature of existence, then there has to be other beings and other human beings and on other planets and other realms. So, um, yeah, to deny the existence of extraterrestrials is to deny our nature of our own existence.
It's
And
very true.
so we shut the door. If someone shuts the door on that aspect of self, then they're going to close the door, and they're not going to be able to receive a lot of information that could be very useful for them and beneficial for them, that deals with other realms and other civilizations, other people in other worlds. For often, many of those extraterrestrials are like spirit guides that are helping each of us here on Earth to live a more enjoyable, meaningful, fulfilling life. And so for people who don't think there are beings on other realms, they are in a sense closing the door to the communication to those counterparts, to those spirit guides, to those extraterrestrials that are actually wanting to help an individual. But if the individual shut the door, said, no, there are no ETs, then that ET that is in a sense one of their spirit guides is just like been muted in a sense.
Yeah. So what interesting things have you learned about the universe and having this ongoing discussion with Ishuwa and others?
So I don't get too much in the physics and all. It's something when I'm in a channeled state, I have people who ask questions that, what is this? Was there a world like this? Or what do you do in this world? So I have a few friends I do channeling for. It's like an open mic, and they can, with their imagination, can you connect to someone that's like this or that? And sometimes they'll ask for things that aren't human at all. And so a lot of different expressions of the infinite, uh, forms of life that are intelligent will come through in those conversations, in those channeling sessions. And it's so a lot of that just doesn't even apply to this realm because those worlds are so different. But it does color, it does bring more color into my experience of what life is. And I'm able to then bring that back into this life and express a sense of more fullness, of more color of life, of feeling, of emotion and concern and thoughtfulness in my interaction with other people. As I've tapped into those other beings who have lived in those other ways, where what is important to them and what is of value to them is somewhat different colors, if you will, of the spectrum of experience, of life experience. And so rather than really being able to describe what they are, I could play the channelings, and what I say in the channelings, that would be a way to get it so you would know more about what those lives are like in other realms. But I kind of just take in the layers of what they are like. And then when I'm in this world, it kind of flows through me. And people will pick up on it sometimes in kind of a subtle, not really sure what's happening, but it feels good. And somehow it's refreshing to them. So there's that. And the nature of our experience, how we experience life each day. Most of us on earth haven't been taught how to drive our car, if you will, of a reality creation, of experiential creation.
Yeah.
Most anybody driving a car on the roads has been taught how to drive the car, how to handle the steering wheel, the brakes, the accelerator, pay attention to the road, how to start the car, and all of that. So that kind of reduces the number of accidents on the road. But really, we most of us here on Earth haven't been taught how to work with the vehicle of our experiential creation, how we go about creating our experiences from one moment to the next. And as a result, well, if you think about it, if it in terms of cars on the roads and the freeways and the highways, if people were not given instruction, they could, hey, you could just jump in a car and take off. There'd be a lot more accidents a lot of the
Yes.
times.
Very
And
true.
so, because in terms of how we create and experience our life each day, and we don't have that instruction how to work with existence, there's a lot of accidents in terms of people having emotional, you could say emotional fender benders, mental breakdowns, um, multi human car pileups. You get fights and things
Yeah.
like wars and stuff like that. So a lot of what the information that I bring through most of the time is just understanding how we create our experiences, our actual nature. Um, to create our experiences, we're working with the nature of our existence. And so to understand the nature of our existence and then how we use the nature of our existence to create our experiences from one moment to the next, and to then work in alignment with that helps us to be in harmony with all that is, in a sense, in terms of its foundational actual nature of existing. And in that, it's easier to see when people are out of alignment with that. And you realize it's like a movie, it's like a TV show. They're living in an illusory world that feels real, and experientially it can be real. But if it's out of alignment with our actual nature, it gets to be troubling. It gets to be diseasing. It leaves people with a sense that something essential, they're missing something essential in life, and they can't quite get it. But a lot of people are always chasing after something. They're not really sure that happiness in a sense, but they're not really sure how to get it. And so when we don't understand our actual nature, it's a very slim chance that we can be in touch and feel our actual nature from one moment to the next. And as a result, we feel like something's missing, like we're just incomplete somehow. We need something to complete us. So as we understand, and this is what the extraterrestrials and certainly Ishuwa the Yahyel really focus on with me, as we understand how to drive the car or the vehicle of our experiential creation moment to moment, how that's in alignment with our actual nature, then we are able to feel fulfilled in each moment. We're not missing anything. In the physical world, we may not have this item or that item. We may not have a big house or a big car, so on and so forth. But we don't have a sense that we're missing anything that fulfills us, that gives us a sense of joy and comfort and happiness. And it is, and that also opens up the possibility for each moment to just be fascinating, to bring a sense of curiosity into each moment, and a sense of excitement fun and playfulness, and a sense of acceptance of self and others, of a sense of compassion for self and others, and a sense of enjoyment for self and being with others. It can be enjoyable in that sense. And because all of those are experiences and states of being that we can have in each moment, for there are an infinite number of moments where we can be in tune with those ideas, the more we're open to our actual nature of existence, the more those types of experiences and moments can come into our awareness that we can then take action on and then experience them. So I get with Ishuwa and Yahyel, I really focus more into those realms. And so they've been helping me find ways not only to explain it, kind of what I'm doing with you, kind of mentally, the instructions sort of, which I haven't brought those through. I'm just saying like an overview of what I'm sharing now is kind of the mental construct of, or how important it is to follow our actual nature. But they also have been working with me how to activate this knowing within us through interactive interactions with people, like in a room. It's kind of a call and response type of which the way it works, it just kind of breaks through limiting beliefs that people have that are out of alignment with their actual nature, and allows then for the awareness of their actual nature to start to come into their awareness. And then they start to feel more at ease, more at peace, more comfortable, more whole. And there's less and less sense that something is missing. And so yeah, that's something they've been working with me. And so I do more of that now. Explain the mental and the kind of like the mental component of our actual nature, and then marry that or bridge that with interactive, actually physically going back and forth, doing like meditations, active meditations that then bring forth the emotional component, not just the mental component, but the emotional, the heart wisdom component, to help wash out the old mental beliefs that are out of alignment with our actual nature. So I've been doing that more and more, and that's something I'll be doing at the Dawn of Disclosure event in Sedona. What is that going to be? January 3rd through 5th.
Right. Yeah. You had an event in Sedona, January 3rd through 5th. It's Shaun Swanson .com/ upcoming events. Is that how?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it with some of the other people. There's a bunch of amazing channelers that are going to
Yeah.
be at that event.
Yeah, we got
So
Rob Gauthier is going to
very
be there, and Bonnie
exciting.
Kennedy. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Daniel Scranton, Jamie Price, and Daryl Anka. and Lissa Royale. I mean, those are the ones, the main ones. And there's several others that are going to be there too
Yeah.
for that. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be great. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. Yeah.
So if you were to the main concept, do they have specific techniques that they teach? Is there some particular focus? Like if I was to apply their reality creation technique, how would they generally describe it?
So there is, you probably, it's the basically it's this, there's, you get the mental understanding.
Yeah.
And when I first put this together, because I spent several years getting this understanding together as they were helping me in the channel states, I thought as soon as I said it, a person heard it, they would go, "Oh yeah, I get it," and off they go, marching and dancing, skipping along. But it just doesn't work that way. The mind and the belief systems we have and the way they're constructed, it's like there's just these thick layers that just say, "Well, what? I don't get it," or "Oh, that, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah," and then they just move on to something else, not realizing how powerful it is. How powerful it is to know how we drive our vehicle of experiential creation. Um, so there is the basic components, which you sure you've heard a version of.
Hmm.
I refer them as the four laws of existence, and I've given them other names. Like a rose by any other name is still a rose. So these ideas have been spoken about throughout history, um, but generally not all as a grouping, as four ideas that are together and integrated that way. They're usually spoken about separately and with different labels, called different things. Um, so certainly you've heard Bashar talk about the four laws of creation. And then one time he decided with the audience at a channeling, a live channeling, to jump it up to five laws of creation. So for me, I stick with the four laws of existence because the way it comes through for me is it's about existence. You exist, I exist, and uh, there is no creation without existence. So I stick with existence. The four laws. I've also referred to them as the four plays of love. Um, so I give them different names. But basically, have you heard of the laws of creation that Bashar talks about before?
I probably have, but I don't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
So I'll run by what I refer to as the four laws of existence, and I'm not the first one who's talked about them.
Yeah.
No. So so you exist eternally as love. That's the first one, and the second one is the one is the all, and the all is the one.
Hmm.
And the third one is what you put out is what you get back. And the fourth one is everything changes except those first three, which never change.
Beautiful.
And so basically, by hearing that, that's like bringing a vehicle into someone's driveway. You now have this new car. This is what you use for your experiential creation. Take care of it, Don't just go driving around without knowing how this vehicle works, because if you don't get it, you might get into some accidents, some fender benders, some emotional breakdowns or mental difficulties. Um, So it is how they function together and how we are them, for they are not separate from us, and how we function as them and with them to create our experiences from one moment to the next. So the idea, I will just, and so it's just how to explain it. There's an infinite number of ways to explain it,
Yeah.
but trying to get down in each moment with whoever I'm talking to and just get it really simplified is because of time. We only have so much time. So, having given those four laws of existence, give you some example of how some people are not working with them; they're working against
Hmm.
them. The one is the all, and the all is the one. So, anything that exists is existence, just expressing itself in a different way. Because there's only one thing that exists. The one, you could call it love, whatever you want to. There's one thing that exists, and that is all that is. And all that is has one thing in common with all the other things that seem to be a part of existence. Everything exists. So everything that is a thing or a person or a place or a feeling or a word or a thought or a feeling exists, so it contains what the one existence contains, which is existence. Everything contains and is existence, and anything that is a part seemingly of existence contains the entirety of everything that exists. But very simple then, to get back to it, everything that exists is equal to everything else that exists, because existence can't be more or less valuable than itself. So everything that exists actually is of equal value, equal worth in a sense. Nothing is greater than or lesser than, more holy or evil, more right or wrong in that sense. And so understanding that helps a person recognize whatever they're experiencing and interacting with, they understand it's of equal value to who they are. And when you put out that everything is of equal value, you get back experience that everything is of equal value on its inherent base structural level. And the reason that works is because the way existence functions, the way the experiential vehicle functions, is the third law of existence. What we put out is what we get back. So we put out that everything is equal. That's in alignment with the actual nature of our existence. And we get back experiences that are in alignment with this, that is in alignment with our actual nature, that all things are of equal value. Now, a lot of people are being taught from day to day, moment to moment, something different, which is that some people are more or less valuable. And I'm not talking about they get paid more at work because they have more experience, not that kind of value. Like they're more worthy inherently somehow. They're just the low lifes, or we're the top of the food chain, and all that kind of stuff. So that is against actual nature of existence, because again, anything that exists is equal to any other thing that exists. So to put out a belief that's out of alignment with actual nature, then a person gets back experiences that are out of alignment with actual nature. And so there are things missing in their experience, which is one, to say the least, they're missing the experience of their actual nature. They're getting back these false, illusory experiences that there is more value to me than them, or I am of less valuable than them. And experience existence has a way of trying to inform us, no, that isn't right. But most of us won't hear that. And so part of that's another thing that is missing. People aren't hearing existence trying to say, no, the belief you're putting out is incorrect. As we start to correct that discordant belief, the belief that's out of alignment with self, then we start getting back experiences that we are not of more value, we're of equal value. And then we get that back, that experience back. And that starts to give us the nourishment that is in resonance with our actual nature. Our actual nature is infinite. So it's of everything we are then experiencing around us, we feel nurtured by their value as being equal to ours. And so this just goes to so many different places and what and how we interact with people from one moment to the next.
Yeah.
So that's just one example of a belief that that many people have here that's out of alignment with our actual nature. Yeah. Do you follow that?
Yeah, I love it. So, your book Avatars of the Phoenix Lights mentions that the Yahyel are related as the pilots of the Phoenix Lights. Can you just briefly tell me what that reveal meant, like what they were talking about there?
So the idea there, he's saying that there were some of their civilization was on aboard some of those spacecraft that were over the sightings in Phoenix. What was that, 1997?
Right.
There's just multiple sightings, and it was over several days. I've talked to people who lived in different areas of Arizona at the time, and they said, well, it wasn't just in Phoenix. We were over here in Paulden, or we were over in this area, in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And it came around in those areas too. So it was something then, they talk about how it was, there was, they were observing how we were behaving to get a sense of our consciousness in relation to the idea of extraterrestrials. So there was that component. But something else there, just in the lights that were on the exterior of what appeared to be the spacecrafts. There were some of them in the spacecraft. I don't know if this is in the book though, but it goes along the ideas of what they were doing. Part of what they're doing when they were there. There was a group of them in the spacecraft focusing on connecting to the people that would be seeing the lights and emanating a consciousness through the lights themselves that would help enlighten those that were seeing the lights that yes, there are extraterrestrial, there are beings like you that live on other worlds, and we are very compassionate, understanding, accepting individuals that support all life and are supported by all life in uplifting ways. And you can be that way too. And you have a connection to us. You have relationship to us. We aren't really alien. It's just that the beliefs that you have about the nature of existence are so out of alignment and so alien to the nature of existence that you've been disconnected from remembering your relationship with us as like soul, extraterrestrial soul family. So they were, in a sense, meditating and sending that consciousness, sending it, but they were also focusing on sending it through the lights as if that could help the people on Earth looking up, seeing the lights, and just the seeing of the lights could help, in a sense, start to activate within that human Earth, humans' sensibilities, activate DNA, memories, uh, open up the communication capabilities within their body, within their DNA, to start to receive more of the communication about beings that live off world from other realms, extraterrestrial soul family. It's kind of like giving them the radio frequency or the TV channel, helping them tune into that. Yes, we exist. We are real. And so it was kind of that was taking place too. So it's like an activations were taking place as
Wow.
well. Yeah.
So when
And that book talks more about them and the nature of how they experience life, and rather than that moment flying around the state of Arizona. It's not so
right.
much about that event.
Do they
About
do they prophesize? They tell you probabilities for the future, or do they reveal things about our history?
So there's some of that that comes through, but prophesizing, no, but it's a little bit about history comes through, but not prophesizing. Um, so it's extremely rare that Ishuwa will say anything that would be considered a prediction or a prophecy in that way.
Hmm.
Occasionally, I do private channeling sessions for people interested in positive transformation and personal growth and getting in touch with their actual nature, so they can live their most fulfilling, meaningful life every day. And so there are times in a very, in a private one-on-one channeling conversation with someone that he'll say something that is kind of like a prediction or a prophecy related just to that person and what might
Oh,
unfold in life in the next several weeks. And there are times they get back to me and say, "Hey, this happened." And then other times I've seen it happen because then I'm interacting with some of those people are friends of mine, and then I see it unfolding.
wow.
Um, but as a so to just they Ice will not. It's extremely rare he would say anything a prediction
Right.
and
But do they
relate.
talk like about the past, like Atlantis or past civilizations or our solar system, anything like that?
Some, yeah, but doesn't get too much into that aspect of the physical
Right.
science, so to speak.
Yeah.
And and interestingly enough, it isn't something that I'm not interested in.
Right,
so
right,
so I've just always been interested in connection with people in the heart space and the heart
right.
connection and enjoying my life and finding ways to share that I enjoy other people and their friendship and relationship with me.
Hmm.
Uh, so relationships is really where I like type of ship I like to travel in more than the science and the physicalities of the dynamics of the planets and the solar systems and the galaxies. So but sometimes some information will come through, and like certainly when I do the open mic channeling sessions with a few people, the information will come through there. um, so that then what Aishwa says is recorded, and so I have a few of those people are um, in the process of putting that into book format,
Ah,
and I really don't remember
right.
that.
Are you very conscious while it's happening?
To let's say if someone said, "Hey, there's a fire in the house, we got to get," I would, if I was in a channeled state, I would hear that, and I would step out of the channeled energetic connection, and I'd step out
Hmm.
of the house.
Right.
Um, but it's but I am focused more in a very heightened state of awareness and consciousness and feeling. Um, so more so than I would be right now. Um, so when I go into a channeled state, I'm connecting with the other person's, you could say, higher self. My higher self being an aspect of myself that's more aware of what's going on in life in a given moment, has the capacity to take in more and to feel more and to sense more, understand more, be wiser in that way, have a higher and more expansive, wider breadth of intelligence that has
Hmm.
a capacity to work with moment to moment than I typically do in earth focus. And so that then that aspect of who I'm channeling, the higher self, like Ishuwa, will connect to who I'm channeling for's higher self. So each of us has that more expanded state of
Uh-huh.
consciousness and capacity. So my with Ishuwa, its higher self connects to the person's higher self. And so its focus is more on these and seeing things that often we don't pick up in normal day-to-day life here. It's like a lot of lights are turned on in the forest and a lot of things become visible to help the person move, make adjustments in life and see themselves and feel themselves in a way that it gives them a greater sense of joy and comfort and yeah, a sense of wholeness, a sense of fulfillment, a sense that nothing is missing, a sense of just, yeah, this is fantastic. I
Okay.
am who I am. I do what I do, and I love it. It's perfect. I could be doing this or that or this, but no, this is it. I'm happy with this. This brings me joy. So it helps people connect more to that state of just fulfillment with where they are from one moment to the next. So when I'm doing the channeling, it's like it turns the lights on to see more of how to help a person get to that place moving forward. Um, so it isn't so much of a prediction of the future or a prophecy. It's just ways to help person and become more enlightened, so their future can become brighter
All
for
right.
them, fulfilling for them.
So we ask some questions to Ishawa?
Sure,
All right.
absolutely, yeah,
Just for a few minutes?
yeah.
Yeah.
So just give me a moment to make the adjustment.
Okay.
Yeah, energetically. So channeling for me, I'll just will say is my definition. So we all channel. I'm channeling my soul and my consciousness through this physical body, and this is the voice. And the way I'm defining it, then you are doing that. Your person, your personality through your physical body. You're channeling. We all are channels. It's like a radio can play a radio station, or a TV can play a TV show. So when I go into channeling, what like I'm going to do, I'm not just channeling me, I'm going to adjust the frequency from tuning into my soul that's coming to this body to another soul, to Ishuwa, an aspect of Ishuwa's soul, to another station on a radio, so to speak, to another frequency, another channel on a TV, so to speak. So then that show can come through this body.
Mhm.
That's basically the way I'm describing channeling.
All
I'm
right.
just adjusting the frequency I'm tuned into. So another aspect, another consciousness, another radio show, another TV show can come through this body. And again, as the one is the all is the one. They are all me in a sense,
Of
just
course.
as they can be all you, and from that understanding, that framework. So okay,
All right.
enjoy. Wonderful to be here with you in these blending moments together in this day of our timing. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Do you have any message you want to share in general with me and the group of people that are watching right now?
It is a joy to have this opportunity to share and to interact with you in this way and to bring forth the understanding that you and I and we and all of us can explore the infinite, the unconditional love that is all of our actual nature. And we can always do this with our heart and our mind in ways that are very fulfilling and fun and fascinating, filled with curiosity, filled with the idea that I enjoy this moment, and I enjoy this moment, and I enjoy this moment. And I know that whatever unfolds from one moment to the next, I'm going to have this deep sense, this foundational sense of joy, of support, of nourishment that is infinite. And I feel that. And I am so grateful to be in this moment, to have this moment, to express and experience in this moment, and know that you can also, as all of you are consciously aware and creators of your experiences, capable in any and all moments, and through only you choose, can then also, in your own way, in your own unique way, experience from one moment to the next a sense of joyfulness, fulfillment, a sense of being complete, a sense of having love, unending, and sense of infinite fuel, if you will, of infinite life, to feel loved, to feel accepted, to experience that. And you can tune into this reality, each and every one of us, of you, always. It is available right here, right now, always available in all ways. Yes, always. Anything that is being experienced at its base foundational level contains this availability, this reality, to feel joy, to feel happy, to feel fascination, and to know that from one moment to the next, it is always going to be new in a sense. So it never gets old. No, it is always enjoyable, fulfilling, a sense of very heart enriching, filled with intelligence and wisdom of how to move forward from one moment to the next in life, and to know then that you can take action, and you will be able to take action to do the things that will allow for the most fun and enjoyable, fulfilling, meaningful life to flow into your experience every day, every day, every moment of every day. Yeah. So just wanted to share that with you as you asked if there was something I wanted to share. So thank you for asking. Brian, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I I have many people that come to my channel that are struggling and have a great desire to transform their reality through their thoughts, their mind, and actions. Can you guide us as the best way that we can create a positive, happy reality in our futures?
It can be unique from one person to the next. In a sense, you all have your own unique journeys and pathways, but what you can focus on, I would suggest you do focus on becoming aware of your actual nature, in a sense, that you exist eternally as love. You exist eternally. Yes, you exist eternally. You exist eternally. The physical body will transition, isn't really built to live eternally, but you embodying and experiencing through your physical body is eternal, is without end, is without beginning. You are eternal. And in that, you have no beginning and you have no ending. You exist eternally. Let it through the mind. If you have any beliefs that are blocking that, just ask those beliefs to step aside for a day, for a week, for a month. Yes, write this down. You exist eternally. Look at it several times every day and ask that your inner guidance help you accept that, to believe it, to feel that. That then, the more you feel and are in that way, the more you'll start getting back experiences in which you begin to feel your eternal nature. And that is going to go a long way to helping you feel more at ease, more at peace, more comforted, and to get rid of a sense of pain, a sense of dis-easing, a sense of depressionalization, depression in a sense, anger, frustration. Those experiences start to melt away in a sense because you stop tuning in to versions of reality that contain those illusory beliefs that are out of alignment with your actual nature. Any moment of experience that is out of alignment with the idea of feeling at ease or feeling uplifted is then within you a belief that's out of alignment with your actual nature. So anytime you're feeling out of sorts, maybe frustrated or depressed, know that you have a belief that is out of alignment with your actual nature, so that you can then also know you can change it. You only have a belief like that because you have chosen to accept it. So because you chose to accept it, you can choose to discard it and replace it with a belief that is in alignment with your actual nature. And one of those beliefs I suggest you put in as being in alignment with your actual nature is you exist eternally as love. Love is that which supports you. Existence supports you, love supports you. So, in a sense, love and existence are functioning in the same way, supporting your existence. So, you exist eternally as unconditional love. The other then is the one love, the one existence that you experience yourself to be. The one existence is all existence, all things, the sum of all things together are the one existence. Any and all things that exists all have the same thing in common. They all exist. So know, this is a second belief you can focus on. You are equal to all that exists, from the base foundation existing level of existing. All you are is all that is, that exists. So invite yourself, ask your inner self, your higher self to help you integrate the belief that allows you to know that you are equal to all things that exist on your foundational level of existing. And then a third idea is what you put out is what you get back. What you put out the strongest, with your strongest emotions and thoughts and beliefs, the strongest is what you get back and then experience as what you are experiencing as your reality. So you may think you know what you're putting out the strongest, but you don't experience that. And you may say, well, that doesn't work because this is what I think the strongest, but I'm not experiencing that. Well, actually, then what you think is your strongest beliefs you're putting out, if you're not getting that back, then that is not the strongest belief you're putting out. The strongest beliefs you're putting out, you can always know what they are by just tuning in and experiencing, being aware of what you are experiencing. And that will inform you what your strongest beliefs and thoughts and emotions actually are. So accept that what you're getting back is representative of the strongest beliefs and thoughts and emotions you're putting out. Accept that as well. If you really want to start getting over pains and diseases and depressions and frustrations and angers and so on and so forth, Start acknowledging that what you are experiencing is a result of what you are most strongly putting out with beliefs, your emotions, and your thoughts about existence and about you. A belief, a thought you have about you and what you are and what you can do. A belief is a thought about what you think life is and what life can or can't be. When you have beliefs that are in alignment with your actual nature, you get back experiences of being in alignment with your actual nature, which is a very powerfully loving experience filled with fun, fascination, and joy, and a feeling of fulfillment and fullness, and wherein there is no sense that something is missing. So that then what you put out is what you get back. What do you put out? Observe what you are experiencing, and that will inform you what you are putting out the strongest. If you are getting back some painful experiences or troubling experiences, then ask yourself what belief you have that is then attracting back that experience. You only get back any experiences, uplifting or troubling, because you have a belief that you're putting out that is attracting it back. So again, this goes to accept what you are experiencing as being a result of what you're putting out, and accept that if you're having trouble, it is because you have a belief that is causing the trouble. Don't look outside yourself and point fingers. Someone else is causing my troubles, or it's unknown what's causing it. Maybe I did something in a past life, or something up there doesn't like me. No, you are experiencing as a result of what you have believed is strongest and are thus putting out. So you can change those beliefs. Ask what beliefs you must be having that are causing you to have a particular discordant or uncomfortable or painful experience. What belief must you be putting out in order to be getting back that experience? And then change it into a belief that's in alignment with your actual nature of existence, which is you exist eternally as love. The one is the all is the one. What you put out is what you get back, and everything changes except those first three. Four laws of existing. You exist. These are four laws of you existing and experiencing your existing. So ask your inner self, your heart, your higher self, to help you let go of beliefs that are out of alignment with those four laws of existence, to replace any beliefs you have that are out of alignment with those four laws of existence with beliefs that are instead in alignment with your actual nature. Actual nature, those four laws of existence, representative of your actual nature. Ask your inner heart, your heart wisdom, your higher self, whatever label you want to define or explain this more expansive aspect of you that is always here to help you, always here and willing to help you. Ask this aspect of you to help you release, to stop tuning into beliefs that are out of alignment with actual nature and to replace them with beliefs that are in alignment with actual nature. So you can meditate on them. You can meditate on the idea or the feeling that I have asked to be more and completely in alignment with my actual nature, with those four ideas. And I am beginning more and more to do so. More and more each day, I'm more in alignment with my actual nature, those four laws of existence. Put that out, meditate on that. Put that out, meditate on the statement that I am. I am more and more experiencing and putting out beliefs that are in alignment with my actual nature, those four laws of my existing. And then you will more and more get back experiences of being more in alignment with your actual nature, with the four laws of existence. Those laws are not outside or separate, they are an expression of you in this world of life on earth. Your awareness of your experiences is a part of these four laws, not separate. It's not outside. It's not up there. It's not over there. It's not over there. It's right here, right now, always a part of you. So I would ask then and suggest then that is a way to begin empowering yourself to become a very powerful self-healer, self-acceptor, to transform discordant beliefs, beliefs that are out of alignment with your actual nature, and to replace them with beliefs that are in alignment with your actual nature. So you can then no longer be tuning into the version of you that has troubles, problems, diseases, frustrations, and angers. You no longer tune into that version of you, and you instead tune into the versions of you that are so happy, so fulfilled, so overjoyed with the wonderment of life each day. And so in awareness of the infinite potential before you every day of what's going to happen today, I don't know, but it's going to be fulfilling. I know there are an infinite number of potentials that I can experience. You're going to be in a place of acceptance and gratitude and enjoyment. So that's a brief, very, very brief answer to the question, Brian. Does it, in a sense, something you get a sense of that would be helpful, you think, for one or more of the listeners?
Yes, very much. Thank you for that. I'd just
Thank
like
you.
to go into this a little bit further. One, as you may know, the economics of Earth and the nature of our society is designed around money. Money ends up becoming a feedback loop in which creates anxiety and worry and stress. How can we put ourselves, with your knowledge, into a place of prosperity and abundance?
In terms of money,
Yes, how can we manifest prosperity and abundance with this understanding when the world
all
is
right.
constantly pressuring us to survive and overcome financial pressure?
All right. Thank you. The world's ideas around money is part of the illusion. It's real experience of an illusion that's out of alignment with your actual nature. You are all infinite. You are all part of the one that is the all that is the one, and you all exist eternally as love. This never changes. You always exist this way. In order for you to exist eternally, you are going to be provided so you can continue to exist eternally. You're going to have what you need to continue to exist eternally because this is what you, as an aspect of eternity, of existence, does. This is what you and your base foundation functioning actual nature level do is you support yourself. You support yourself. You exist eternally as love because you are always supporting yourself, always supporting yourself, always supported by yourself, supported by yourself, supporting yourself, and supported by yourself. This is how you as existence functions eternally. What you put out is what you get back. The more you put out that you are being supported by yourself eternally, the more you will get back that and feel that and be more comforted in that to then do this. Forming you knows which future is going to be the most enjoyable for you, most in alignment with that you that is always supporting yourself and being supported by yourself. Doesn't need to say money in a sense to do this, but your higher self knows if you're doing the most enjoyable thing, the things you need to keep doing the most enjoyable things in physical earth will be provided for you because the intelligence that you are as the infinite existence does this for you, wants to do this, simply is doing this, just does this. It's a function that you are, that you do, that is within you. Trust it, trust it. Ask your higher inner self to help you trust it. Invite that you are trusting it and that you are experiencing being provided for in infinite ways. And then ask that those ways be fulfilling and uplifting for you. If you want to feel fulfillment and uplifted and feel that you have what you need to have in terms of money, homes, houses, shelter, food in that sense, put out that you are receiving that because your inner self, your infinite self, does this, always provides for you. So ask then and know in asking that you are going and are then receiving the things you need to be supported in this way. The idea therein, trust that you are always supporting yourself infinitely, eternally. And then in earth experience, the framework of the earth physicality, you can apply this eternal existing quality that is you through the physical earth props, if you will. If you think of earth as being like a play, all the world is a stage and you are the player, one of the players. You can bring in the set on the stage of your life experience and the props, the things that you need, the money, the shelter, the food that will support you when you accept that you will be supported with these things. And then when you start putting out that you are being given these things in the ways you need them to feel most fulfilled. For how they come to you and when and the timing they come to you can be different from how you see them coming to other people. So accept that you have your own unique way of providing for yourself in the physical realm, and accept that the way is being given to you through your higher self, which communicates the ways through that information that you are already living that other version of you. You're already living the version of you that is most enjoyable, having everything you need. Your higher self taps into these other versions of you wherein you are already providing for yourself successfully. You are already comfortable knowing that you have what you need to have when you need to have it in order to be living and experiencing your most enjoyable, meaningful, fulfilling life. Your inner heart, your heart wisdom sees that version of you, which exists right here, right now, in a slightly different frequency, sees that version of you, taps into that, what that version of you is doing, sends you that information. If you want it, if you want to be experiencing your most enjoyable, fulfilling life in each moment, and then you decide that you are moving in that way every day, you're not wondering if it's here, if it's going to come, you are accepting and putting out and intending that it is happening. It is happening in more and more ways every day. Then your higher self can give you that information of what that version of you that already exists simultaneously with this one is doing. And because that version of you is feeling so much more uplifted in that version, when your higher self gives you that taste of that version of you, it's going to feel good. So when you follow your heart, when you follow what feels good, it isn't just a sensation that's empty of everything but feeling good. No, it feels good because it contains that consciousness, the version of you that's already living that more fully fulfilled life. So that's why if you take action on what you feel is the most enjoyable, you put out taking action, you're starting to put yourself in a vibration that's moving you up into matching that other version of you that's already living that most enjoyable life. That life that's being supported with the money that you need, or the living situation that you need to be in. You might not need money. There might be someone that provides something for you in terms of a home and food and so on and so forth. When you follow your heart as best you can in each moment, you're getting back experiences of that version of you that is already living that most enjoyable, fulfilled, taken care of life. That's why it feels good. It's you feeling good in that version of you. So act on that feeling good feeling. Don't just pass it off. Yeah, yeah, follow your heart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got to study. I got to get this. I got to get to work. I got to get this paycheck. I got to find a new job. I got to, no, follow your heart's wisdom, the feeling that feels the most enjoyable to you as best as you can. Don't be concerned about, did I miss it? Did you not choose the right thing? Your higher self is continuously bringing you the most enjoyable steps you can take, actions you can take, behavior you can live and express. So if you don't get it the first time, it's going to come back another time. You don't get that, it's going to come back another time. It's constantly your higher self is bringing this to you, to the point when you do start following your heart more and more and more, You don't really have to follow your heart's wisdom anymore. You realize you're in tune with your heart's wisdom, in tune with your higher self's guidance. You then are more automatically acting in alignment with these higher versions of you, wherein you are already, in a sense, simultaneously living that version of you that's more uplifted, more in tune, more provided for, having what you really want to have in life, not necessarily extraneous, luxurious types of things, but the things that you realize more and more are really all you need to feel fulfilled fully. Yes. Oh, I could have that trip or I could have $1 billion, but I don't need that. I'm living the most enjoyable thing, life expression I could do right now. You realize that. And you know that in the next day, in the next week, in the next month, by following your heart wisdom's guidance, you're going to be in the place that's going to be the next representation of your most fulfilling, enjoyable, meaningful life. The most enjoyable, fulfilling. You can't get more feeling fulfilled and meaningful than the most fulfilling, enjoyable life. And that's what you'll be living, is the most fulfilling, meaningful life when you're following your heart's guidance in each moment, always bringing to you that next higher version of you's experience. Follow your heart's wisdom, your heart's guidance as best you can. And that is a more of a emotional component way to get in tune with your actual nature, the four laws of existence. The one, you exist eternally as love. The two, the one is the all is the one. The three, what you put out is what you get back. And the four, everything changes except those first three laws of existence. They don't change. You don't change as an eternal expression of those, for you are those four laws of existence in a sense. They are not separate, they are a part of who you are, and they always are contained within you. Ask your guidance, ask your inner self, your higher self, to help you activate them more, so that you are more and more each day living them, more in tune with them, and thus no longer tuning into the discordant, out of alignment beliefs, such as, oh, I'm better than them, or they're better than me, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not in their field, I'm not good as they are, or I'm not worthy of love, or they're not worthy of love. If you exist, you are supported by existence. Love is support. So if you exist, existence loves you. So you are loved. If you are aware of existing, then you exist and you are loved by that which is eternal, existence. Existence is eternal. It only knows how to exist, doesn't know how to start or stop existing. So any of those ideas, just because the physical body transitions and dies, you will tune into another form of experience because you are eternal. Yeah, so those are some suggestions. Just
Thank you.
suggestions.
I have one final question. Uh,
Yes.
on the
Brian, what do you have? Yes.
on the planet right now, particularly in the country that I'm speaking from, there's a lot of division, dissension, and anxiety about the future. Uh, a lot of conflict between peoples, and then looking out, there's a lot of wars and conflicts. How do we maneuver through this? How can I, as an active agent, as a being, change this? Is there anything that I can do to make the world a better place, considering all the division that I see around me?
Yes, I have a suggestion. Thank you for the question. Understand it can be something that a lot of people at this time are very concerned about. And that's important to know. The feeling, the concern is a real experience. Yes.
Yes.
Now, understand it is out of alignment with actual nature, for the one is the all is the one, in a sense. So understand it is like a play, in a sense, that is being played out, in a sense. All the world is a stage, and you all are the players, in a sense. So in this play, you can be one of the characters on the stage that is having a wonderful time. You can enjoy being one of the characters on stage. It is one of the options available. And that is to say, then, the way to navigate All of the other characters, if they're running around on the stage screaming and yelling and pointing fingers and blaming, you can focus on your actual nature, which is you are always supported by yourself in ever ways that you choose to believe through what you put out is what you get back. So you just keep putting out that you are a part of the infinite. You are the infinite. You are always supported, and you choose to feel and experience this play in ways that are uplifting and meaningful and fulfilling for you. And you ask your inner heart's guidance to help you tune into those simultaneous versions of you that are here doing that, in a sense. And then you trust and accept that it is happening, that you are being in tune with and in alignment with the most uplifting, fulfilling experience as one of the actors in this play on the stage. And accept, trust, know that you are, and then follow your heart. Follow your heart. Ask your heart to keep guiding you through this play in the ways that you will feel the most uplifted. If that's one of the things that is the most for you, the most uplifted, the most fulfilled, that life is the greatest sense of purpose and meaning for you in a way that you find to be exhilarating, fascinating, and relaxing and calming. That then to be in that place is the way you can help the world the most, to be an expression of that, to show others that you can navigate in this time in that way. And your wisdom of your heart's guidance will guide you how to be such a person, how to experience in such a way. And understand that can require one to really let go of physical perceptions of what's happening in daily physical external world. Let those go. Let those go. Those are part of the illusory, part of the illusory play that is going on, the actors around you. You are in a theater that is flexible too. It isn't just a fixed set, so to speak. What you perceive as your external physical world isn't as fixed as you may have been taught or think or science says it is. So no, there's potential for the set, for the stage to change in ways that you perhaps aren't yet aware of or haven't thought of or haven't imagined possible. So that when you are choosing and knowing and deciding and follow your heart in ways that will bring about this and navigate this for you in ways you feel most enjoyable and find fun and fascination and are still able to interact with other people and having friends and to feel enjoyment in life, when you are in that place, then as Earth, potentially the physical set, the theater starts to shift and change, you will be more in tune with the new set that is coming in and the new version of the physical earth that you are in tune with. And the set can fluctuate and change into more than one set with more than one background, so to speak, more than one planetary appearance. So be in your heart as best you can. Invite then the greatest joy and experiences to flow through you in this timing. And as the shift occurs in the stage of the set, you will then be tuning into the new set that is most in alignment with supporting those who choose to feel in alignment with all that is, with existence, with actual nature, to support one another lovingly, to feel supported by each other lovingly, to appreciate self and others, to be appreciated by others. Yes, that is another version that is coming into the option of experience on earth. Earth, plural. Yes. For just as you have New York City and Broadway with all of the theaters where there's different plays, each play has its own stage with a different set. The set is decorated differently from one theater to the next. Earth also has more than one play, more than one physical expression, and it can be changing. It is malleable, it is flexible. So I suggest if you really want to navigate through this in the most uplifting, enjoyable ways, follow your heart and let your heart know what you want to be experiencing. Do you want to be experiencing the most uplifting, enjoyable time at this time? Where you're feeling acceptance for self and others, then you will attract being accepted and acceptance others who are accepting their self and others and accepting you, who also have a similar choice to follow their heart's joy. You'll begin attracting more of those people to you and letting go of people who want to fight, who want to argue, who think that control is the way. Those kinds of people will start to be more of the other set, the other expression of earth, the other theater, the other stage. All the world is a stage and you are but the players. All the worlds have more than one stage in which more than one type or group of players can play, act, experience upon. So accept that these changes can occur. Be the strongest help at this time by following your heart as best you can in each moment. And then, of course, asking that your heart guides you through this time, navigate you through this time in ways that will be of the greatest joy, fulfillment, upliftment for you. And then keep putting out in meditations each day that you are getting back experiences of following your heart in alignment with this. And thus you are starting to feel more joy, starting to let go of the concerns of the divisions. You're starting to realize it's going to work out as long as you stay in your hearts, in that version of earth, in that version of your life navigation through this time. You're starting to more and more feel that the intelligence necessary to navigate through this is within you, so that you're going to be, when you follow your heart's wisdom as best you can, knowing that you are, meditating on accepting that you are, you're going to be in the right place at the right time. You're going to know what you need to know when you need to know it. You're going to have what you need to have when you need to have it. And you're going to meet who you need to meet and be with who you need to be with and experience this in the ways that you can experience it in the most uplifting, meaningful, enjoyable ways in perfect timing when you're following your heart's guidance, because that contained therein is where the intelligence is that can guide you through this wisely. Looking out at the external world and the media and those of different sides and the divisions, that isn't going to have the information that will help you navigate through this, because it is too complex. There's too many layers overlapping and intertwining to be able really to look on the external surface mediaistic world and expect that is going to be the source of information. You can observe that, but if you do, imagine you're a member of the audience looking up at the stage, observing as a viewer, as a patron, observing the divisions, observing the struggles and trials and the finger pointing and the battles and the warring and the fighting. You can observe it from the perspective of being in the audience. And if that gets to be too much, you just step out of the theater and focus on being in a theater, and know, because that is your intention, to be in a theater that is where people are supporting and loving and having a good, enjoyable, meaningful life. That's the theater that is being built around you and within you. And because of you, because you're choosing to follow your heart wisdom, you're giving the most strength and input and output to help manifest that. For you will then be able to attract others who are in similar vibration and intention as you, and you come together spontaneously and synchronistically, and you start to build this other version, other earth, other sets in ways that are not necessarily with hammer and nail building, but in the choosing with your consciousnesses and your depth of wisdom coming together, and then through what you put out as a group, you will start getting back the new earth, the new set, the new theater in which you can be more varied and you sense get up on the stage and be happy and feel fulfilled interacting. In that, all the world is a stage version. Did I answer a little bit of your question, Brian?
Yes, very much. Thank you so much, Ishuwa. It has been a pleasure to meet and talk with you.
Yes. Thank you, dear Brian. Yes. And to each and all of you who are viewing this, thank you for being an expression in the new, unique ways that you do. And know that within you is the infinite, unconditional love that is always valuing all that is, equally valuing self equally, and always putting out that which is in alignment with all that is. Always this version is within you, and there are an infinite number of these versions of you that you can tune into, change from one to the next, and you can always change from one version to the next, because everything is always changing except the first three laws of existence that you are and you are able to work with and function through. So thank you. Yes, shall I step aside and bring Shaun back at this time, Brian?
Yes, thank you, Ishuwa.
Thank you. Much love to you and to all of you. Much love to you all, always, in all ways. How'd it go?
Very good. So is it draining for you when you do that?
No,
It's not. Okay.
no, it's energizing.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I talked to Rob Gauthier, he gets really tired. He looks when he's done, it's like it takes some energy from him. So it's interesting
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
the
yeah,
difference.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. The process is different from one
Yeah.
next. Um, and I haven't really gone into nobody's really asked Ishuwa what's up with that. That's an
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. You would think a question like I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they have. I can't think right now. I don't have an answer for that. It's just
Yeah.
we're different people and different channels experience it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you for coming on. Everybody can find Shaun Swanson at Shaun Swanson,
SHAUN.
SHAUN
Yeah.
Swanson,
Yeah.
SWANSON.com. And you have an event from January 2nd to the 5th. It's
Yeah.
a channel panel, a bunch of different channelers. It's going to be amazing. You can find that
Yes.
on your website at ShaunSwanson.com/upcoming events.
The dawn
And
of disclosure is
yes,
the topic of the
the
event. Yeah.
dawn of disclosure. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming on. It was a real pleasure to meet you and welcome to the Reality Revolution.
Oh, hey, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me on, Brian, and
Thank you.
look forward to having a chance to meet up with you at some point in the
Yeah, that
future.
would be great. I'd love that.
All
Thanks.
right. Take care. Much love.
Much love.
We return you now to your local announcement.